Celebrity deaths and mental health is what I'm going to be briefly touching upon in this video. So if this is triggering for you, I do apologize, but I'm just giving you fair warning. So you have an idea of what I'm going through, what I'm feeling, and what's happened recently um, in the world of celebrity news. So hi, my name is Lena and welcome to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome. And I hope that you stick around and know that this is not always the type of video that I do, but it's important to me because I've been going through my own bouts of depression over a period of time now that I would like to not admit, but it's true. And I've been trying to do a video discussing more in depth, and this is not it, but it brought something out of me that I wanted to come on camera today because of what I heard yesterday in the celebrity death news. So, I do have other videos that if you'd like to take a look, I am between funny, sarcastic, and just me. So, Hayden Panettiere, I hope I didn't butcher her last name, 36 years old, passed away yesterday, and I was completely shocked. She's exactly 20 years older, younger than I am. And I remember her for two distinct reasons. Number one, the show Heroes. She played the cheerleader. For anybody that doesn't recall, you could take a look at it. And I remember that show distinctively. I was obsessed with it until I wasn't, until it became garbage, and I never even finished the last two seasons. But I remember she was the breakout hit. She was the one. She was the one. Back then, I had absolutely no clue that she had been in 500 commercials in her lifetime at that point. As a child, I wouldn't remember unless you show me the commercial. I couldn't tell you, right? So I didn't follow her to that extent. And then I remember, hold on while I get my remote, sorry. And then I remember her talking about postpartum depression and her bouts with that. And I said, oh, that's triggering because I know what that feels like too. This was a couple of years later, and the fact that she gave up custody of her child to the father of her child, which was pretty striking. Um, and then I saw her at an interview, I want to say Gail King on ABC News, Good Morning America, maybe. And I just remember seeing her, and this was a few years after Heroes, that I was like, she's not even the same person. She was shaking. She looked like she had been through rough times, okay, to say the least. Um, Admittedly so. She lost her brother. The Hollywood industry obviously was not doing well for her mentally. Her postpartum depression, I wish I would have followed her a little bit more. But I remember distinctively listening to that and thinking to myself, wow, this girl's got a long road ahead of her. I remember that distinctly. And then yesterday came and I saw the news, and this is where I get into celebrity deaths. There's not many. I'm going to say more than a handful in my lifetime of celebrities that when I hear about their deaths, that it stops me in my tracks. And I'm sure everyone has their own, right? We all could remember certain people that when you hear they're not here with us anymore, you're like, whoa, because either you've grown up with them, in a sense of watching them, whether they're growing up or they're older than you or whatever the case may be, you have some sort of emotional connection to the person. And it's like when you hear about it stops me in your tracks. It stops you in your tracks. So I'm just going to go over a few people, not just a few, but many that I can recall off the top of my head that I remember hearing the first time, and I said, my God, and your list is going to be different than mine. My first real recollection of a celebrity death that stopped me in my tracks has to be River Phoenix. I remember when I heard about his death, I was like, what the bloody hell? He stopped me in my tracks. I'm going to say the next few people are pretty standard for many. Tupac Shakur, Biggie Smalls, Princess Diana. I remember where I was when I heard about her passing. I remember what I was doing, believe it or not. And these people, and there's so many others that, when I hear them, I'm like, oh, that's bad. But I'm talking about people that shook me. I was like, whoa, no, stop. I'm going to go through more recent people. Malcolm Jamal Warner. Malcolm Jamal Warner. I'm like, sorry for butchering his name, from the Cosby Show. That broke my heart. Chadwick Boseman from the MCU, Black Panther. When I heard about what he had gone through and he was still filming, oh my God. Prince. Prince blew me away. More so than Michael Jackson, because Michael Jackson's on that list. More so than Michael Jackson. More so than Whitney Houston. Because when I heard about Whitney Houston, I remember where I was when I heard her name too. I was like, no, stop. Somebody's kidding me, right? Somebody's kidding me. And that's what I'm saying. Like, they stop you and you just turn around, you just recall. I remember where I was when I heard Prince. I'm like, why Prince? What the hell's going on here? Yeah. And now her, Hayden. For the mental health aspect of it, I feel that mentally has not been kind to her. And it scares me. I have been blessed because for people who don't know, and I've said this in many times in many other videos, my mom was a paranoid schizophrenic. Very specific 2 words. So growing up with that, you learn how to defend yourself. You know your triggers. I am very blessed that I did not get that. And I know that. So when I heard about Rob Reiner and what his son did to him and his wife and his mom and dad, it scared the living crap out of me. Because that is part of the disease. So mental health for me is very personal, as to many of you. So holding back tears. I know when the trial comes in for Rob Reiner that I'm gonna come on camera and really delve into it. I'm kind of waiting for that to happen. I'm kind of gearing, as you can see, I'm still triggered by it, but I know the disclosure that's gonna come out of that trial is gonna trigger me too, because I remember my grandmother really, really suffering with my mom. Outside of the suffering that she gave to me, because I'm not even gonna go there right now. Um, And when people are sad and when people have mental health issues and, they don't get it checked or they suffer through it, it's very scary. And I know when I'm around someone that triggers me that I have to get out of that room. I have to be away from that person. My defenses start to go up. I start freaking out, and it could be that they're going through a bout of whatever they're going through. And if they start yelling or they start getting crazy, I lose it. So, watching Hayden in her last interview and how she was shaking and how she couldn't even hold a conversation properly, I was like, oh my God, what's wrong with her? And this is where I feel that even though I cry, there's a part of me that's holding it together in the sense that I am blessed for so many reasons. One, I know when I'm going down that dark path. I instinctually know. Not many people have that ability. They self-soothe. They are in denial. Um, I've only been on depression medication once in my life, and it was only like 3 months. I'm not averse to going on it again if I feel that I need to. But right now, I'm focusing on my health journey for all those, again, who don't know this, where I want to be this time next year. And right now, what's helping me is working out, walking, and learning about the disgusting things of the food that we eat, what the food companies have been putting in our meals, in our food, just regular food, not even just ultra processed food. I'm doing a whole series on that too. I did already one video. It is quite alarming, and I like to believe it could be a placebo. Right now, I'm connecting depression, diabetes, everything that has been happening in my entire lifetime. There is a food to gut to mental health connection there somewhere, other than just cancer, which a lot of our food could be causing that, right? So as I'm starting to delve deep into a lot of the food that it could be pantry staples that we have. I am eliminating a lot of the stuff. I can't eliminate it completely in the house because I do live with my son, my to-be daughter-in-law, her two kids. But as I mentioned in another video, things are coming to light and things are slowly changing. And, we're eating a lot healthier now. And I'm working out almost every single day. It's a cross between, I definitely do walking on the weekends more than I do during the week. And I do strength training at home. And it gives me that clarity that I need, that boost of endorphins that I need to get me out of my head. Because I knew I was going down that dark path again in my mind. And I said, oh no, 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 no. I haven't come this far to allow any of this to happen. And that's a gift, right? Because a lot of people self-soothe. They drink, they smoke, they do other things. And I don't do that. So I have to find an outlet. An outlet for me is doing my videos, coming on camera, watching good and bad TV and movies, trying to review as many I can. I'm a little behind in so many things because it's the summer. The girls are here. I'm in the house. And both my, to-be daughter-in-law and my son work. So, it's a little bit more difficult. They're going back to school in 2 weeks. It's the happiest time of the year for us, but the kids are crying, screaming, bitching, and moaning. You remember those days? Hmm? Um, so I'm going to ramp up my recordings a little bit better by then, which is September. When I have the house is clear, there's no noise, I don't have to worry about anybody coming to disturb or I'm disturbing anyone. That's pretty much what's going on, and I cook a lot. So, I'm already getting myself scheduled. I'm keeping myself busy. I'm keeping myself agile. But I'm telling you, there was a moment there that I wanted to reach out to someone and say, I am having really bad thoughts. And what pulled me back, sorry to say this, I I didn't know how to. I didn't know who to reach out to and how they were going to take it. And I didn't want to be a burden on anyone. That's crazy, right? Because I know that any one person in my life that I really am close to would listen to me, but I felt like I was a burden. Like if I open up and tell someone how I feel, that now they're carrying that. So I want you to know that you're not a burden. It's hard for me to say it and admit it, but I got myself out of it because I kept myself busy. And busy is also doing my recordings and, interacting with so many of my community members here and looking forward to bringing myself on camera and, getting myself ready and, you know, researching. Because when I started researching about the food and, I have to keep my mind active. And I slowly started to climb out of that dark space in my head. Um, Not all the way there yet, but I am doing a lot better than I was just, oh my God, 2 weeks ago. And then when I saw the news about Hayden, it triggered me again because I don't know why she passed away. I don't believe that the coroner has made an official detailed report, but in any life shortened like that doesn't have to necessarily be a celebrity. I'm speaking about celebrities because it's the one connective thread that we have that we can all say, "Oh yeah, I remember that." Like when someone you love passes away, you have that sympathy and you understand, but it's like when it comes to like someone that's famous and we all seen them, it's like, whoa, it really makes you think about life in general. And this is what I said. You know, aging is a privilege, not a right. Just because you're alive doesn't mean that you're going to make it into your high 90s and 80s and hundreds. You can go at any time. Malcolm Jamal Warner. Oh my God. Chadwick Boseman. I mean, there's just so many of them. And, let me know below, who do you remember and stopped you in your tracks hearing about their passing? What was it for you? Who was it for you? You know, because again, I have my list and I'm sure that I've forgotten. I mean, if I've forgotten anyone, it's because they didn't stop me in my tracks. It doesn't mean that it wasn't affecting me, but these are the people that I distinctly, like, if I had to like do it on the fly, like I thought about right now, these are the people that really got me. As far as mental health, reach out. And if you can't, to someone you know, there's so many helplines. Now, I thought about getting into one of those situations where I'm doing those helplines, but I don't know if I am in the mental place to handle that. I need to go through that experience myself in order to become that person, but I'm not adverse to learning about it. You're not a burden. And I got to repeat that to myself. So don't think that I don't feel that way all of a sudden, because it doesn't work that way either. Um, find your happy place, if that makes sense. My happy place is doing this. I'm not an expert, but I have empathy, if that helps. If this opens up your mind to make you think twice before going down that dark path, and knowing that there are people who are not professionals that can try to help you and do have empathy, then I did my job. I just wanted to say hello, everyone. More videos to come. Thank you all for watching. For the ones that have been watching my videos, I've noticed a lot of people are going back to my Sex and the City videos. Um, Thank you for that. And for all the ones that are going through my new videos and sticking with me, I love you. And no, I'm not perfect. And yes, I do have days that I am funny, I'm happy. And there are days when I just want to, I don't know, not come on camera, but I'm doing it. So I hope you have a beautiful rest of the week. I have a few more videos I'm recording that'll be coming up. And I hope that you stick around. And thank you all for liking, commenting, sharing, hyping, and all the things that everybody else does for their favorite creators. I hope this helps even one person to open up. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.